Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Camp Mulgat.
And we're joined by Kevyn Kirbyson, a 29-year-old young man who, tell me if this sounds okay if I describe you this way, you're currently without a home. You have addiction problems, mental health issues, right? And
Yep.
you're just the kind of person that some people will just put a wall up and really never get to know the real guy. So can we get to know you a little bit better right now?
Sure.
So tell me, you're from Coquitlam, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Was actually born in Burnaby, but raised in Coquitlam. My parents, Colleen and Bruce, have a younger brother, Trevor. He's 3 years younger than me. And yeah.
Good family?
Yeah, for the most part, it was okay. It was good, yeah.
And you're an athletic guy. You were saying you played junior hockey.
I did, yeah. I played for the Vernon Vipers for a couple years back 04, 05, 05, 06, around there, yeah.
So people would look at someone playing for the Vernon Vipers and think, there's a young guy with the world by the tail, right? That guy's going places.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was a younger guy on the team, like still in high school and stuff, and people were pretty cool towards me, and I got to experience some things that maybe like the average kid wouldn't have gotten to do at that age. So it was probably one of the best times of my life.
And you're a dad. You got a kid?
I do. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. Her name's Eliana. Pretty hard to talk about though.
Yeah. Because of circumstances, you don't get to see her right now.
That's correct.
And, you were telling me before that the drug you tend to use is heroin. Why? We all know that you shouldn't do heroin, that it's so terribly addictive. Getting off it is painful. How did you get there?
A horrible accident, really, to be honest. Was getting separated at the time. My marriage wasn't going well, and kind of made a choice to go off and was drinking and partying for a few days, and using some other drugs, cocaine at the time, and had been up for a couple days, and ended up snorting fentanyl actually and killing myself.
Naloxone saving you, that kind of thing?
Yeah, 3 injections of Narcan brought me back to life. I had my body shut down, and I ended up throwing up about 65 times. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and yeah, that was about 17 months ago. And since then, I've had some on and off battles with it.
So now you have been, you say, without a home for about 3 months?
Yeah, 2.5 months.
Do you see an avenue out? There's a lot of energy right now in this city in particular to help people in your circumstance. What's your route out of this rut?
I think that, I am kind of in a situation where, hopefully I have something, I have a situation with the police right now, so
They've got some, they seize some money.
they seize some money from me, and hopefully I'm going to get it back here shortly.
If you get your hands back on the cash that they've taken as, I guess, proceeds of crime, they argue.
Absolutely.
You say no. You get that
Not
money
at all.
back. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to be able to break this?
The first thing for me is I want to put a roof back over my head. It's cold outside, and kind of tired of being on the streets. Never been on the streets in my life, and don't enjoy it much. So, want to get a home and then start working on my recovery and getting back to where I was before.
Okay, you said you were in the hospital with an injury. and that got infected. And there they were wanting to give you a drug to try to get you off the heroin. And you said no.
So the hospital wanted me to start Suboxone, which I've been on before, and I actually think it is a good program, but it's a bit of a process to get started. You have to go through withdrawal for a few days, and kind of work your way into it, and it's a bit of a battle. And being homeless at the time, and not really having just a solid plan in place, I just felt like I was going to go through that for no reason, and that I was setting myself up for relapse. And so I just didn't feel that at that moment it was the right time for me to go through that. I was already suffering with the injury.
So you just weren't in the right headspace at that moment.
It just didn't make sense for me.
But in general, do you think you are ready to do that?
Absolutely. I mean, this has been gone on too long, and I miss my family. I miss my daughter.
Do you have any contact, like, with your
No one.
Your brother or your parents? No?
No.
Why not? Have they written you off?
No, I don't think so. Apparently my parents came down a few weeks ago, actually, looking for me. I didn't see them, but Officer Woodcock said, let me know, Sergeant Woodcock, that he had seen them and they had asked about me. But no contact.
Well, it's nice to know that they were reaching out.
Yeah.
Is it maybe time for you to just make contact with them and just go be with them and maybe get your recovery going with their support?
A part of me feels like the recovery process is something that I need to deal with on my own. For the most part, things have been okay, but I've had issues with my family too that have sometimes been a part of the problem. It's not easy for people to understand mental health and addiction, so.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you is just to kind of open that window a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like the rest of us. You've got hopes and dreams, and you've got a family, and you're not just a number. You're not just one of a horde of people on our streets, right? You're a real person. So what path are you on? Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Am I going to find you on the street 2 years from now?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I want to be a part of the change here in this city, and I want to help the people that aren't in the situation understand it a little bit more, and what they can do to support the people in this situation, and help them feel like they're a part of the community. And I'm working on getting an A&D, alcohol and drug sponsor, and I hope to start my own program, helping kids and athletes with mental health issues and or addiction problems, and I just would love to make change. I love this city.
Do you think that people who are the people you see who are without a home right now and share your addiction and other issues, is the general feeling that that nobody does care?
Most of the time, yeah.
Do they feel? Is the general feeling that we are not cared about?
It's not even not so much like nobody cares. It's like they actually wish we weren't here at all. Kind of.
Well, that's worse than not being cared about.
A little bit, yeah.
They just want you gone.
Totally. Yeah. And it's
so I'm imagining this is a group of people that already doesn't have super high self-esteem. So that to be feeling that, is it not helpful to just have people want you gone?
Yeah, it's embarrassing because Well, for me, I've been on the other side of a community where, I was playing hockey in a town
People
where
are
it was
standing up and cheering for you.
yeah, it was the biggest thing in the town. Friday nights you could go to the Vipers games, and we were, in the parades, and doing events at Boston Pizza or McDonald's, and it was just a positive part of the community. And now it's the absolute opposite spectrum for me. So a lot of the time I walk around and kind of hope that like people just don't see me or don't know who I am, but I'm sure that's not the case.
So what's your next step? I want to talk to you, say 3 months from now, and have you be able to tell us, hey, good news, I got this going, I got that going. Could you make that a goal so we can maybe?
Well, I'll tell you, I would love that, because that's motivation for me. I know, dealing with ADHD is like one of my diagnoses, and I have a pretty hard time, sticking to the plan and getting things done.
Yeah.
But I'm also extremely competitive because of sports.
So let's make this a sports game then. So we're in October now. Mid-January,
In the new year.
we get this group back together,
Yeah,
and we'll see how you're doing. How's that?
I would love that.
Okay. Thanks
Thank you.
for coming in, Kevin.
Yep.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.